You know what I've noticed? I've noticed that no one had to teach us to get mad. No one had to teach us about that emotion. We come out of the womb mad, don't we? I mean, we are so angry. How dare you take me away from my comfortable water bubble? I mean, we start off mad, don't we? And truthfully, we battle it for our entire lives. Now, some might want to be tempted to believe that the Bible teaches that it's a sin to be angry. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. Ephesians 4:26 says, "Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger." So it doesn't say being angry is a sin. It says, yeah, you're going to be angry. Just don't sin as a result of it. So how we respond to our anger is what's going to determine whether or not we actually stay stuck in the anger or we move forward into God's will for our lives. So what do we do with this? As we've been saying all along in this series, we want to identify my feelings, look at the facts, and determine faith steps that I must take next. So what facts do I need to understand when I'm feeling angry? Well, I want to show you a teaching from Jesus Christ himself. He was teaching this Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7. And he gives this great analogy that I think helps us deal with the emotion of being mad. So here we go. Matthew chapter 7, starting verse 3 says, "And why worry about a speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own? How can you think of saying to your friend, 'Let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye,' when you can't see past the log in your own eye? Hypocrite, first get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye." All right, so this is really cool. I mean, I think this is hilarious, this analogy, because it's kind of fantastical. It's kind of nonsensical. Like, who would have a log stuck in their eye? But Jesus did that on purpose to probably get a laugh out of everybody, but also so that we would laugh at ourselves. So when we're mad, this is kind of who we are. We're like a dude with a log stuck in his eye trying to tell someone else to get the speck out of their eye. So let me give you some facts that we glean from Jesus' teaching. Fact number 1, you make other people mad. Now, you may not want to admit it, but it's true. And I see this with people who have road rage. They'll get so mad at someone who cut them off, but when they cut someone else off, they're like, hey, sorry about that, Well, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You should be so angry at yourself at that point. Well, the truth is, we all tend to be hypocrites when it comes to being angry. We don't want anyone being mad at us, but it's okay for us to be mad at someone else. The truth is, at some point in all of our lives, we're going to make someone mad. We're going to get someone frustrated. You do that. So let's start with that fact. Here's the second fact. You don't see clearly when you are mad. And that's a fact. None of us do. Doesn't matter if you're a blow-up person or a clam-up person that stuffs that emotion down inside, or if you're one of those people that no one would ever know you're angry. Nevertheless, when you're mad, you don't see clearly. You have a log stuck in your eye. So you got to deal with that first. You got to pause and deal with that first before you move forward. Now here's the third fact. You can resolve anger by having a spirit of humility. And that's what Jesus is teaching here. He's like, hey, deal with the log in your eye, and then, yes, approach the person that has the speck in their eye and help them get that speck out. You do want to resolve the anger. You do want to respond to it, but do it with a spirit of humility. And when you do that, you can move forward and you can avoid sinning out of your anger. So let's think about some faith steps that you need to take, that I need to take when we're feeling angry. First, a vertical faith step. Look inside yourself first with God's help. In other words, God, show me what's going on inside of me. Help me to see what's really going on. Help me to see myself clearly, to see the truth about what my emotion of anger is. You might be surprised what you might find out. You might find out you're really not mad at that person. You're mad at something else completely. You might even be mad at yourself. So start off with a vertical faith step of asking God to help you to see inside yourself clearly. But then the second horizontal faith step is look at others with God-given clarity. Look at others through His eyes. Ask God to help you to see people with the vision of compassion and love, the same compassion and love that Jesus had for you when He died on the cross for you. That changes everything, doesn't it? So ask God to give you complete clarity when you approach someone else that you might be angry with or who might be involved in your circumstances that have caused you to feel angry. Ask God for God-given clarity. And then lastly, let me give you one more faith step. Step away from anger. Step away from anger. You have a choice. You don't have to stay in your anger. You can walk away from it. Anger, if you get stuck in it, man, it eats away at you. It's like a poisonous pill that you fed yourself. It only hurts you. So you got to deal with it. You got to walk away from it. And yes, depending on your circumstances, you may need a lot of help to do that. You may even need to talk to a counselor. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a very good thing, because what you've dealt with might be so big and so overreaching in your life that you need that extra help. But one thing I know, if you've placed your faith in Jesus Christ, the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead has also taken up residence in you. God has the power to help you step away from your anger and walk hand in hand with Him forward into a life of love and peace and humility. God will help you with that, but it's up to you to choose. Will you choose to step away from anger today and walk hand in hand with Jesus Christ with love, compassion, and humility?